All right, Marcellus, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Way Roman's being treated, is it proof that the league is skeptical of the Ravens' high-powered offense?
That was timely right there, because that's how I feel. I'm kind of like, I'm a lean yes and I'm going to say yes, but a little fence riding right here for me. Look, if you're Greg Roman in this situation, you're 47 years young, time is on your side in terms of your coaching aspirations and promotion to being a head coach. If I'm sitting there right now as Greg Roman is, I'm going to let this bake. I'm staying still when I'm talking about Lamar Jackson in his first year in my offense already have an MVP. And then going forward, I think that the league is sitting there skeptical, why I'm saying yes, of how long can you sustain this level of success and what is it going to materialize into. Super Bowl championship will make this a copycat offense around the league. Right now, it is just the flavor of the month, and everyone's trying to figure out what to do with that. But I remind everyone to go into your history books, and let's look up Bill Walsh. In his first year, what was his record? In the new West Coast style offense that took over the league. What was his first year record? 2 wins. Yeah. What was his second year record? 6 wins. And then what had happened was Super Bowls start coming. My point is, you have to stay patient with this offense, even if the skeptics are right this year. What if they lose this year? Point being, be patient with this offense. And if I'm Greg Roman, I sit still and let my MVP bake.
Yeah, I think they're skeptical about being able to find the talent. I think you alluded to it and touched on it in your Whitlock, where you're looking at a guy like Lamar Jackson who can execute the style of offense that Greg Roman architects for that team. So when you look at the teams out here that have looked for new coaching staffs, Dallas, Dak does not have the skill sets of Lamar Jackson. Washington, Haskins doesn't have it. Carolina, Cam is old. But do you draft? Is there someone in the draft? Giants, Browns, Daniel Jones, Mayfield, and Cleveland. You don't have the type of player at that position to say, we're going to put our money and let our money ride on Greg Roman to be the head coach of our team. Now, if you're saying in the future and you're looking at possibilities, Justin Fields, amazing, can throw the ball, great IQ, can run like a Lamar Jackson. There are a few guys out there, Kelly Bryant in Missouri, Bryce Perkins at UVA, great talents at that quarterback's position. But am I going to hire you as a head coach this year with this guy that we drafted as our quarterback and see if we can ride it out with him, or are we going to go in a different direction? I think that's what makes you skeptical of it, is do you have the guys that have the skill set and the caliber to actually be able to run that offense?
Before you go, Eric, the only thing I would say the NFL owners are stupid then. Because at the very least, I would bring Greg Roman in and pick his brain and figure out what it is he's doing and why he's being able to go 2 different places and take 2 quarterbacks and boom. I'd want to talk to the guy.
Golly, why you took almost all my stuff. I'm looking up, I'm like, I can't got nothing to say.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. You did the right thing.
You the GOAT. You got more than that.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Give me some yards.
You look at what Greg Roman has done. He's taken Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson. It's hard to find those kind of guys. I mean, in the National Football League, when I came in the league, and even after, and you too, the running quarterback was not popular. They didn't want that quarterback. Even Randall Cunningham, my friend Randall, he would say, they're trying to change me. They don't want me to run the football. But now it's popular. It's because, when you're winning, everything changes. And Greg Roman, he knows how to win, but I'm like you are saying is, are we sure that we can run this kind of offense? Are we sure that we need a Greg Roman? He's not the guy just yet, but would he become the guy? Yes, he is. Kind of young, 47 years old for a coach. I mean, they're going a lot of coaches younger now, but he's still in that era where he can most definitely get a job, and I think he'll be successful at it.
And the smart play is just to sit still. Let's also respect the two-way street of this opportunity. We're not certain that he's not telling his agent, the recruiters, that I'm fine right here. So don't even put the fillers out, because I'm going to build equity with this MVP I have in my first year. The numbers are just going to continue to inflate for coaching and what they're going to make. And then if he has the resume that he's building right now, beyond Kaepernick, I can duplicate this success. I could go somewhere else and replicate the success. It makes a lot of sense. The coaching opportunities usually come from bad teams because the NFL rewards failure. The draft is about the failing teams getting the best players. Coaching opportunities, other than Dallas, I would say, are about failed opportunities for other guys. They'll pounce on that. If I'm Greg Roman, I sit still and I ride my MVP.
The reason I pointed directly to Carolina is because, to me, it just doesn't make sense for David Tepper not to bring Greg Roman in and consider him strongly. You have Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He would fit what they're doing. Maybe he's too old, and you got to move on from him. But to me, the Carolina Panthers should have taken a long look at Greg Roman, possible solution for Cam Newton, and possible if you want to go into the draft and develop another quarterback. And then just because, and again, I wouldn't ask Greg Roman to move off his strength, this style of offense. But to me, the way he's had success in 2 different organizations, I wouldn't place some kind of limit on him that, oh, this is the only style of offense or the only style of quarterback he could work with. This dude, I think, has a unique background that helps him connect with football players in a way that maybe some other coaches can't.
Carolina did not have a good enough year where they won't have a good draft pick. If you're looking at what he could do with older Cam Newton, you say, okay, we can try this and see what we can do, but maybe a Jalen Hurts falls to you in the draft. Maybe you're able to get a hold of him, and maybe you're able to bring him in and architect that defense around the guy that has as high a football IQ as any pocket passing quarterback, but has the athletic ability to run the ball like a runner. It makes a ton of sense if that's the way you're looking at it. I would also add to that, when you're looking at Greg Roman, possibly people are looking at it. We always say there's the other side of it, the skeptics of it. Well, if you're looking at what was happening in his 49ers days, a lot of people would attribute the success in that run to the Super Bowl based off of their defense. Right?
Yeah.
So you can say undisputably, even though there is a phenomenal defense that they have in Baltimore, you cannot debate the fact that Lamar Jackson is the reason why he's the catalyst of this team. You could do that in 49.
It's a legitimate point, but let's also remember there have been 2 quarterbacks, well, now 3 if you count Patrick Mahomes, but Greg Roman's been involved with 2 different quarterbacks that made people say, holy cow. Remember, Ron Jaworski was saying about Colin Kaepernick, and he had me right there with him, like, oh, my God, this is going to be the greatest thing ever.
Me too.
And here he is, Greg Roman again with Lamar Jackson, and we all said, oh, my God, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's a unique skill set for an offensive coordinator. It blows my mind that there's still some skepticism, but I think there is. And so that leads to the follow-up question. Would a loss Saturday, I think they play on Saturday, would a loss Saturday undermine the credibility of Baltimore's offense?
It would. I have to be realistic with that, even though I don't like the critics, the naysayers, the people who are sitting there on that edge ready to pounce on this situation.
They are ready.
Because as soon as they see any form of failure, without even looking at the complexion of that failure, what if they score 46 points and lose like the Saints did when they were playing the 49ers? They still going to pounce on this offense and say, oh, they didn't control the clock and keep the other team off the field.
It'd be Whitlock saying that, too.
My dog will be here. No, so my thing is, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's in life, and it's in this style of offense. We see it all the time. You start something, an invention. You create something. If you don't see that through, it fails. And then people on the outside would say, look, I told you that wasn't going to work. I told you that was a gimmick. That's why it failed. The real reason it failed is because you didn't keep the belief to be persistent enough to get it to its goal. Bill Walsh failed his first year. Bill Walsh failed his second year. Bill Walsh didn't fail any time after that. This offense is in its first year with this team and this player in Lamar Jackson. Ride it through no matter if you win or lose.
You want to go, GOAT? I don't want to take your point.
No.
You want to go?
You always seem to go. Go ahead. I'm happy.
Well, it does undermine it. And the football purists and traditionalists will sit there and they will pounce. And they will say that we told you so. We saw with RG3. We saw with Kaepernick. We've seen this before. Stick to tried and true. That's the first point. The second point is, and I think it kind of follows your point, Marcellus, is when you're looking at the total whole of the scope of this game, What will the defenses bring to this weekend's game? What will Tennessee's defense bring to the game? What will Baltimore's defense bring to the game? And I think that will play a lot into what comes out, what plays out in this game. So if Lamar Jackson and this offense is able to have a very, very successful day, but they lose this game, it'll still undermine it because they did not have enough to win the game. But I think that in the nature of which they win or lose will play a definite role or part as to how we identify if it was a failure or if it was gimmicky offense.
First of all, I don't think they'll lose the football game. I think they're that good. But I think if they do lose the game, I think people say, well, they ain't played in 3 weeks. You know, well, why didn't you play the starters the last game? You know them always. But then after that, they'll say, well, Lamar Jackson got hurt. Why'd you play him? You didn't have to play him. So that's the only part I worry about. You know, when you come back, you ain't played in 3 weeks. You know, I think it's going to take them to get. You know, it takes you a while to get in the rhythm. But I really believe that this offense, no one has an answer for it yet. They haven't found the answer for it yet. You know, you kind of slow it down. You have a moment you can stop it. But I think that you can't score with them. You know, run the football. They always say run the football is not popular in today's football. But that's how you win football games. But Lamar Jackson does it so different because as fast as he runs, and when I watch him on film, he reads the defense just as fast. Everything he does is fast. Like, you don't run fast, and obviously you read defense is slow. So to me, I think that this is going to be the new wave of quarterbacks. You know, if they win the Super Bowl, and I think they'll win the Super Bowl if they get there, I think everybody would be looking for a Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to tell you what's already started the undermining process of this offense. Almost win or lose this weekend, and I certainly think it'll be undermined if they lost this weekend and the offense struggled in any way. But the biggest knock on this offense didn't even happen with the Baltimore Ravens. It's the hit Jadeveon Clowney put on Carson Wentz. That's the solution to this offense. That's an ugly solution, but that's what football does, and that's why I'm disappointed the league hasn't come down incredibly hard on Jadeveon Clowney. It was a dirty hit. I think it was a calculated dirty hit, and it's the kind of hit that somebody desperate playing Lamar Jackson will try to do to put an end to this offense, and that's why they needed to come down really hard on Jadeveon Clowney. This kid is the biggest star going in football. They need to protect this style of quarterback, and that was a dirty hit, and that, to me, in a desperate football game, that's what desperate people do. They cross the line. That's what I think has everybody afraid. If he gets hit the way Carson Wentz does, has concussion, the offense, poof,
gone.
Well, everybody's been afraid of that for any quarterback. But the thing is that now, when a quarterback runs, if he slides, they're not going to hit him.
Right.
Now, Carson Wentz didn't slide.
No.
He was forward like a runner. Now, if that had been a running back.
That's how Lamar died.
Hold up.
Watch him. That's how he died.
But hold, if that had been a running back and it got hit like that, been no big deal.
And that's and I think that's the difference in
That's
your
the
argument.
difference.
The difference is Lamar Jackson knows how to handle himself as a running back. If you're already a victim where I'm a quarterback, if I get hit, it's going to hurt me. No. Other players out there, I'm getting hit. I know I'm going to get hit. But you got to get to
There's no way to protect yourself from that dirty hit Jadeveon Clowney did. And I've seen Lamar Jackson dive forward in the exact same fashion.
Yep.
And I couldn't stand that play. And I'm afraid we could see something like it again this week. I hope I'm wrong. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.